my students. Hope you all are healthy and safe. So, today we're going to start our new chapter, the Rattrap. Rattrap means an instrument which we use to catch rats. Here in their story, Rattrap is a symbol of materialistic gain, materialistic achievement. Means whatever things we are get tempted, that is the Rattrap. And Rattrap have a bait. Bait means the things by which we tempted as we want to capture a rat. So we put the bait inside the rat trap. By seeing that bait, rat were attracted towards the bait, tempted towards the bait, and finally when the rat come to catch that bait, he was caught under that rat trap. And there is no way, no chance to come out from that rat trap. In the same way, we human beings are in this materialistic world. Whatever things are available, all the things are just like a bait for the rat trap. This world is a rat trap, and the things which are available here, that all are the baits. And when we get tempted towards the bait, we are just near.
The Rattrap by Selma Lagerlof. Selma Lagerlof. Now we read about the author. Selma Lagerlof was a Swedish writer whose stories have been translated into many languages. A universal theme runs through all of them, a belief that the essential goodness in a human being can be awakened through understanding and love. This story is set amidst the mines, Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figure large in history and legends of that country. The story is told somewhat in the manner of a fairy tale. So, the author, whatever she writes, she has a belief that the essential human goodness can be awakened by love, understanding, and compassion. And this story is also based on these thoughts of the author. Title: The Rattrap is a metaphor to highlight the human predicaments. Just as a rat is fooled by a bait and gets trapped, most human beings are likely to fall into the trap of material benefits. As the poet, the author, author used rat trap as a metaphor for this world. And rats are we people, and bait, what we put in the rat trap to tempt the rat, that is a bait. And bait are all the materialistic things of this world. The story is set amidst the mines of Sweden, rich in iron ore, which figures a large history of that country. Sweden is known for the iron ore. And the theme of the story is, the story upholds the belief that the essential goodness of a human being can be awakened through love and understanding. It brings into focus the idea that the world is a rat trap. Riches, joys, shelter, food are all lucrative baits to trap mankind. Now come to the characters. A peddler with a rat trap, an old man, a crofter, master smith in the Ramsås iron mill in Sweden, helpers in the mill, blacksmith, iron mill owner, and last, Edla Wilmanson, daughter of the iron mill owner. So, let's move towards the main points of the story. We can say the gist and the summary of the story. The Rattrap is a story that underlies a belief that essential goodness in human being can be aroused by love and understanding. This is the main gist of the chapter. Once a man went around selling small rat traps, but he took to begging and thievery to keep his body and soul together. Here is the story of a man, a rat trap, who is selling rat trap. One day he was struck with the idea the whole world is a big rat trap. And one day, while selling the rat trap, he was struck with the idea actually, I'm not selling the rat trap, the whole world is a kind of rat trap. People let themselves be tempted to touch the bait, then it closes in on them, bringing an end to everything. And as a bait, people get tempted and want to touch, and then the door of the rat trap closed on them. One dark evening, the Rattrap peddler sought shelter in an old crofter's roadside cottage, and at one evening he was sheltered by a crofter. The old man gave him food, tobacco, they enjoyed the card game too, and the old man pays a full hospitality towards the peddler. Next morning, the peddler stole away his 30 krona, and in regards are paying his crofter's respect hospitality, the peddler has stolen the money of crofter. The Rattrap peddler escaped into a big confusing forest and got lost, and finally by stealing the money he has chosen a forest way to move to the city, but he was caught in the forest and got lost himself. While resting on the ground, he recollected his idea that the world is a rat trap and thought his end was near. And when he was lost in the forest, when he was unable to find the way in the forest to came out from the forest, then he that idea struck in his mind again कि this world is a rat trap and the things present are the bait. And same thing happens with the rat trap also. This time he was tempted towards the crofter's money, and he was trapped into the rat trap of this forest. Hearing a thumping sound, he reached Ramjo's iron works for a night's shelter. And when he was tired and sat on the ground, then by sitting on the ground, he just listened the thumping of the hammer. So by following that sound, he reached to the iron mill. The owner came on his nighty round and noticed the ragged wretch near the furnace. He took him as an old acquaintance, Niels aloof. And the owner came on his night round, and when he found there was a person who was in ragged condition and in the darkness, actually he misunderstood, and that to peddler he recognized as his one of the acquaintance, as one of his friend, Niels aloof. He invited him to stay with them for Christmas, but the stranger declined the offer. And as he identified the peddler, so he invited the peddler as his friend to celebrate Christmas with him. But peddler declined this. His daughter Edla Wilmanson pursued to go home with him, but iron mill owner sent his daughter to take peddler to his home, as iron mill owner recognized the peddler as one of his friend. He misunderstood the identity of the peddler. She requested him to stay for Christmas Eve only, and Edla went to the mill and she requested to peddler, come and at least for a Christmas Eve you should stay with us. On his way to the manor house, the peddler thought that he had thrown himself into the lion's den. The next day, in broad daylight, the ironmaster realized the stranger was not captain and threatened call the sheriff. And actually, the peddler was very much confused to accept the invitation, as once he was caught by stealing the money, and again he got offered to go to the owner's house. So he thought ki I have a stolen money, I am a thief, and I if I go to this person house, I myself choose to be lion's den. So but on the request of Edla, uh, peddler chose to went with her, and he went with the Edla. But in the morning, in the daylight of the next day, iron mill master well understood that the person whom I identified as my friend, that was not the same person that I understand means he is not my friend. So he scolded him for concealing his identity from him, and he also uh, terrified him by saying ki he would call the sheriff. Sheriff is a policeman. Edla pleaded for him and asked him to stay back, but Edla requested to her father ki please at least stay him for this eve, for this Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve at Ramsos was as usual, and the strangers slept and slept. And the Edla and her father was busy in arranging all the things for the Christmas Eve, but that peddler is only sleeping and eating throughout the day. She made him understand that if he wanted rest and peace, he would be welcome next Christmas also. This had a miraculous effect on him. And by knowing everything, that he was not the same person, he was not his acquaintance, he was not their friend, but still when Adla found that this person is only in search of resting and food, so Adla said to the peddler if you want to sleep in peace, you are invited for the next Christmas also. And this thought, this behavior, this love and compassion of Edla uh, throws a beautiful impact on Peddler. Next morning, they went for early church services, leaving behind the guest who was asleep. And next morning, they went to the church, but that guest was still in the house. They learned at church that a Rattrap peddler had robbed an old crofter. And in the church, they get to know the fact, there was news spread all around that the crofter was stolen by a peddler, a Rattrap peddler. Edla becomes very upset, and now Edla understood that the person who is now my guest is the Rattrap peddler, and he has stolen crofter, and this time that person was at my home. He was alone at my home. They reached home immediately and learned that peddler had already left, but had not taken anything at all with him. Instead, he had left a small packet for the young girl as a Christmas present. She was in hurry, reached to the house to know what was the condition of the house, as the peddler was a thief. So might be the peddler has stolen many of the things from her house also. But when she reached to the house, she get to know before reaching of the house, the peddler left the home, but he has not stolen anything from the house. Instead of that, he has left a pocket for the girl, for the Edla, as a Christmas present. What is in the pocket? Let's know. She opens the pocket and finds a packet, and finds a rat trap, three wrinkled 10 kroner notes, and also a letter with a request to return the kroners to the crofter. And the gift, the present was that there was a rat trap, a small rat trap, and in there is a 3 wrinkled 10 kroner notes and the amount, the money which he has stolen from the crofter, and a letter. In that letter, he has requested to Edla, he confessed his guilt, he has stolen the money from crofter, and he requested Edla to return the money to the crofter. Thank you, class, and hope you get the points what is in the story. So in the next video, I'll start the story in descriptive way. Here I'll giving you the points, the main key points of the story, how the story revolves around a peddler and the story moves at the end. Okay, thank you.